When it comes to equipment in Call of Duty games, they don't really make or break a class setup, they just spice it up a little. Having said that, we've had equipment over the years that are more useless than dead silence on shipment. On that note, the equipment we're covering in this video will only be found in the lethal, tactical and equipment slots, no perks. So before we begin, if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe and enlist in the notification squad by clicking the little bell icon when you subscribe to the channel. Now let's start off with an incredibly controversial choice on Modern Warfare 2, the throwing knife. Positives: one hit kill even to the big toe, as everyone knows. It's silent and you can pick it up after throwing it. If you live to tell the tale, that is. For real, how many times have you thrown one of these compared to how many kills you've got with it? I'm talking the average player here, not a well-trained knife-only playing assassin. There is rarely a situation where a throwing knife is a better choice than a sticky grenade. Look here, if I had stuck him instead, I'd have had a triple kill. Even when you think your accuracy is on point, the knife can still slip between the enemy's legs before they kill you for your stupidity. I could have easily just have shot him there. Oh well. The only use I can find for the throwing knife is using it for a cool final kill cam. Apart from that, not really practical. No, get the camera! I've always been a big fan of the tactical insertion, which allows you to choose where you next spawn. Very useful for capturing objectives, holding down a spot in the map, etc. Not so useful in search and destroy where you only have one life. In fact, in this situation it's pretty much the only literal useless piece of equipment in this video. But I still like it, so we'll move on quickly. Blast shield. On a game with so many explosive threats, you'd think a piece of equipment that could keep you safe in that regard would be useful, but you'd be surprised how little you find a use for it. And not to mention the side effects of having the blast shield equipped. You lose your minimap coverage, which feels a little bit over the top. Imagine Infinity Ward trying to balance the blast shield when they've got... Never mind. Your view in general is just hindered enough to annoy you and put you off a little. To be honest, you'll end up running around with this thing on and think, I'd rather take my chances and see where the enemy is on the map. Over on Black Ops we have the camera spike, and I remember when this thing was first shown thinking, OMG, that is actually so cool. Then you use it and the novelty wears off real fast. For one, it takes away your minimap, similar to Blast Shield. I'm just really not keen on things which interfere with my minimap. I feel uneasy without it, and also it's hard to be looking at the camera watching your back and looking out for bad guys in front of you. In fact, the only use for the camera spike I found was mesmerising people with it. They're so intrigued at this thing. Back on track though, I've got the camera watching my flank and I miss the guy flanking me on camera anyway, so what's the point? Maybe to watch the bomb on S&D. Do you know what else can do that though? A claymore. I can't think of any situation where I'd rather have a camera spike over a claymore. End of. Jammer. Pretty much the same thing as the Scrambler perk on Modern Warfare 2, except it's a little daft box now that you can place down on the ground. It fucks up the enemy's radar and gives off this really irritating frequency sound for you to hear, which is great. Like the Scrambler perk, I think this is just a big flashing sign up on the enemy screen saying enemy player in this area. To be fair, the jammer also does break any hostile equipment in its effective radius too, but I'm not going to be jamming with you. I'll probably just take a motion sensor, to be honest. Ah, the decoy. You throw these on the ground and little red dots appear on the enemy map. Gun sounds start blaring, but it's only got 2 types of gunshots on the playlist, so people recognise that as a decoy straight away. Furthermore, of course the enemy seeing a shit ton of red dots on the map is going to make them think that's where the kills are, so they all come rushing in and overwhelm you. Maybe you think I'll throw it to one of the bombs on S&D, that'll distract them. Aye, definitely, because what most people do when they're last alive on search is start blasting their gun just before they plant the bomb. Nah, I'm not having the decoy. Treyarch are always thinking outside the box, to be fair to them, and in Black Ops 2 they came up with the Black Hat, a nifty wee device that can hack enemy equipment like shock charges and bouncing betties to make them yours. I can't wait to see an enemy get killed by his own equipment, except that's unlikely to happen. When you successfully hack something, the enemy player gets told so via the game announcer. Bloody grass. You'll also need to use the perk Engineer to make it worth your while, so that's you down a perk as well. It is possible to hack enemy streaks, but it doesn't make them yours sadly, it just destroys them. That's a bit of a letdown. At least you can capture care packages with it though, but this used to be much more efficient before it was patched. You could actually capture them in an instant, but since that was changed, you don't really come across many people using the Black Hat, because there's just not many chances to use it. Infinity Ward upped the ante in Ghosts with some mad equipment like the Canister Bomb, which I think you genuinely have to be mad to use. It's Canister Bomb and not Canister Grenade for a reason. Firstly, it takes about a week to arm the thing. Secondly, you're going to need some arm to throw it more than 5 feet in front of you. look at that. No wonder it's genuinely my first time using this. Sure, its explosion is powerful, but that's not very useful when you're also in its blast radius. I dared to attempt to throw this at an enemy above me and was blown into smithereens, and at that point I had seen enough. The 9-bang grenade, basically a flash grenade that you charge up for more flashes, and it can even have an EMP effect. That sounds interesting, but my optimism vanished when I hit this guy with a fully primed 9-bang and he killed me with ease. He probably barely even noticed I'd thrown it at him. And at that point I had also seen enough. Sledgehammer on Advanced Warfare gave us the variable grenade, and much like other things in life, when you try to please everyone you end up pleasing no one. The variable grenade is a stun, EMP, threat and smoke grenade rolled into one. What's not to like about that? Cycling through each option, trying to find the right grenade for that situation and getting killed in the process. You end up overthinking things with this. If you know you've equipped stun grenades, you just launch it without thinking. Not with the variable though. And also, Advanced Warfare had a cool feature where grenades could be manually detonated. You don't have that option with this. It's a shame. And lastly, a couple quick ones on World War II. The signal flare, just why? I think I've faced these about 3 times in total playing this game, and for good reason. They just don't really have any effect at all. They're so feeble. Same with the MKV gas grenade. Like the flare, this only lasts 5 seconds. My farts linger longer than that, and they do more damage too, and they spread further. Yeah, I might need to get that checked out. Do let me know which equipment you think is the most useless in Call of Duty games, either on this list or off of it. I didn't play Infinite Warfare, so be sure to fill me in on the equipment in that game if you had the chance to test them out. A like on the video would be very much appreciated, as it always is. And just before I go, I'll link in the description a podcast interview I recently did, which goes really in depth about YouTube and creating things in general that you might be interested in, and I'll play a little clip of it for you right now. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. At what point are you a YouTuber?
Yes.
Like, is it when it's a full-time job, or is it? I'd say it's more when you're just uploading consistently.
Yep.
Yeah, because uploading like a couple of videos of your dog's running about, I don't know if that would class you as an actual YouTuber. No. I'd say it's uploading consistently means you are.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're putting effort in.
Yeah.